Hello everybody, this is Claire Van Steenwhite coming to you live on Van's Crossroads from Sun City West office. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in all the publicity and all the nonsense that they're talking about with the insurrection they're trying to lay on all those people in Washington, and definitely lay it at the blame of Donald Trump. Let's look what is an insurrection. According to 18 U.S. Code 2383, rebellion or insurrection, June 25, 1948, Chapter 645. Whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Now, when you look at what's going on right now, if you really think about it, we're watching an insurrection go on in Washington, D.C. presently. It's been going on for quite a while. Only most people don't understand exactly what's happening. Right now they've got, 20-some thousand troops in Washington. They've impeached President Trump in the House. They're sending the articles over to the U.S. Senate. Mitch McConnell said on the Senate floor that Donald Trump his talk incited the riots in Washington, D.C. Now there's a real political ally for you, Mr. McConnell, who is the leader in the U.S. Senate of the Republican Party. And his wife, the former Secretary of Transportation, who Donald Trump had on his cabinet and was one of the first people to resign, along with Voss. This is what is causing all the problems. They don't believe they can impeach President Trump because you can't impeach a person that's not in office. They want to try President Trump on inciting insurrection, thereby keeping him from ever running for office again. Now, if you really look at the description of insurrection here in our laws, take a look back at the summer we just went through. When they were rioting in all the streets, they burned part of Washington, D.C. down. They started that fire in the church. They were going to tear down statues. They fought against federal officers. Okay? Whether people like it or not, the people that protect the president are federal officers. So they fought against them and didn't take their instruction. In Portland, they fought against them and tried to take over a federal courthouse. That, by definition, is insurrection. And anybody giving aid to these people should be tried, fined, and or sentenced, or both, to time in jail and never be able to hold office. That fits Biden, Kamala, Pelosi, Schumer, and almost every Democrat in the country who said they were having peaceful protests while they were rioting and burning down cities. But that's not good enough. You see, people don't understand they've been taking our government over for a long, long time, piece by piece. But when President Trump was elected, they didn't think he could get done what he could get done. And the problem is they never expected someone from business to be able to come into Washington, D.C. and maneuver like he did. He just didn't care what they thought, and still doesn't. That was obvious today when I got to watch his closing message to all of us, and talking about loving the country and trying to take care of it and serve it, and the movement wouldn't die. I personally believe that the Republican Party would like to see the movement die. I know the Democrats want to, but they're socialists, and they're trying to enslave all of us. So understand what's going on in Washington is an insurrection. You already have martial law in the United States because you've got governors, federal officers telling us what to wear, how far to walk away from other people or stand, where you can eat, whether you can or cannot go to church, whether you can have Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, a party on New Year's Eve, or anything else, or how many people can go to it. Total government control. They didn't need troops for this. They have everybody so well trained now, they don't need troops for martial law because you're afraid. They use the fear factor, as the Democrats do, the Socialists do. They never let any emergency or catastrophe go to waste. And this China virus was just the thing they needed. Not only for our economy to make it go down the toilet, but then they turned it into the election fraud that they did, which it was election fraud. Not so much voter fraud, because people vote and then people count. And the counting is where we ran into trouble. Not to mention a lot of people here in Arizona that were voting that weren't supposed to on federal forms. But the insurrection is taking place in Washington, D.C. and at capitals all over this country. But it's up to us now. We've lost our warrior in Washington, D.C., President Trump. He's gone from power. He's not gone from life, but he's gone from power. He's not gone from having some influence, but he's gone from power. In the White House, he had power, and they were afraid of him. Now they're trying to make sure he never ever comes back, or anyone like him. This isn't just to dissuade him from coming back, it's to prevent anybody else from even wanting to get involved in this. So remember, and I know I've talked to all of you about this before, we as American citizens have our God-granted rights. We as American citizens have to take our stands now. We had President Trump, we got him in office. He lasted 4 years until the insurrection took him out, because actually that's what it was. It was a coup and insurrection. That's another example. The Steele dossier that started all that Russian nonsense, all the people that were involved in that were trying to overthrow the government. They were overthrowing the federal government. President Trump is the main part of that federal government as president. Oh, he's one of 3 branches, but they were trying to overthrow that branch who was part of the federal government so you could prosecute everybody in the FBI, everybody that had to do with the dossier, especially the Clintons. And this is what ought to happen. But I doubt that it will, especially now with President Trump gone. And you know for sure that Mr. Biden's son is not going to jail. I mean, come on. These people don't prosecute each other. They talk to each other about how other ways they can ticket to all of us. So keep in mind, it's up to all of us now to find people to run for office in 2022 and start looking now. You got to get all these things done before summer. I don't care what state you run in. I don't care if you're running against Democrats or Republicans. We need to get the career politicians out of office. Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. My definition of political insanity, voting for the same politicians over and over again and expecting a different result. I think they've all proven to us we're not going to get one, especially here in Arizona, where you had the county supervisors certify the election, the recorder, Secretary of State, the governor, and the chair of the Republican State Party. So it's time to remove these people from office. I know here in Arizona we're going to have an election this coming week for the new Arizona chairman of the GOP. I hope they get rid of the person that's there, because Dr. Ward has no business being the chairman of anything. But it's time for all of us to get together and fight as Americans to save our country. Our country, not your political philosophy, your country and your freedom, your U.S. Constitution, your Bill of Rights. That's what we have to save, our nation. So I ask all of you to join together wherever you are in this country and find people. And if you know how to do things, step up and run. Because if we don't have citizen candidates running, we're going to lose our nation. It isn't going to take any more than one more voting cycle to lose it. So step up and vote. But understand, the insurrection is going on, and they use fear, the fear of you getting ill or dying, to be able to take over your lives. Fear was a much better tool than, say, martial law. That's what they used. That was their martial law, fear. You know it's true. You may not like it. You may not like to say, I was influenced by fear, but you were. So let's all pray together and then stay together. And remember, God has blessed America, and I hope He blesses all of you with the courage to stand up and fight for America as well. God bless you. God bless America. And you'll be hearing from me again. Thank you very much for viewing this and listening in. Thank you once again. God bless you. Vance Crossroads, VanceCrossroads.com, or Vance Crossroads on Facebook. Thank you. Bye now. And I'm also on Gab and Rumble now. So have a great day. Bye now.